Hi everyone, my name is Andres. I'm a PhD student at the City Science Lab, and today I'll be talking about communities without infrastructure. Before I start, I wanted to give a shout out to Mayra, that is the head of the Guadalajara lab, and also to Geisa, because we're also collaborating with Hamburg. And I think the collaboration and all of your input to all of the projects that we have is just the most valuable piece that we have here at the lab. So thank you. So as we look at our goal of 2.5 tons per person per year, it's really important to acknowledge that not everyone is producing the same. So if we compare to the goal and see the production of the lowest 50%, we have already a fraction of that goal, so that's 1.8. If we look at the middle 40%, they're at 4.8, just a little above. The richest 10% are at 21, which is close to what we have here in Kendall. And if we take the consumption for the richest 1%, we have 70 tons per person per year. So in fact, the richest 10% of people is accountable for 50% of the global CO2 emissions. And sadly, this can also be seen in the risks. So typically, regions that produce the most CO2 are not the ones that suffer the most from the impacts of climate. So this is why it's very important to not only talk about climate mitigation, which are some of the strategies and technologies that we have presented previously, but also about climate adaptation. And specifically, talking about climate adaptation in terms of securing our energy resources, our food resources, and our water resources. So typical solutions tend to look like this. This is a desalination plant, and these are very heavyweight, heavy technology infrastructure projects that are very hard to scale, and they will probably not come in time due to the climate emergency being already present today. So at the lab, we're looking at alternatives to these types of technologies that are community scale, low cost, lightweight, and distributed. So in order to better develop these ideas, we're collaborating with a community in Mexico. So we're working in Lomas del Centinela, which is in the northern part, Zapopan, of Guadalajara. And this community has been suffering of water scarcity for some decades now. And no political agenda nor technological agenda has managed to really fully solve the crisis of security that they have. So when we went into the community, we wanted to really get to know what was going on with their full water cycle. So we analyzed how they get the water, how they store it, how they use it, and how they dispose of it. And we quickly realized that it was much more than just a technical problem. No? There's many social issues, political issues, and environmental issues that all play very big roles within the solution that we will propose. So for example, when they get the water, they usually do it through illegal takes, what they call huachicol. Also, they tend to get it from capturing water from rain, and sometimes through these water trucks. And these water trucks are even sometimes controlled by criminal organizations. So criminal organizations go, shut down the formal infrastructure, and then they get clients to give water to. Once they get the water, they need to store it. And they typically do so in these large containers or underground, which is very difficult because the geography of the place makes it very hard to dig large wells. So there is not much capacity to store. And then when they use it, it's very hard for the community to really know what uses require the most amount of water. So they end up usually overspending and not securing, making it through the month with enough water supplies, or with the enough water supplies that they would need. And then when it comes to disposal, they usually do so in the streets due to the lack of formal sanitation infrastructure. And this, of course, leads to great health risks. So we decided to focus along with the community, we decided to focus on the use part of the cycle. And we're building low-cost sensors that are helping us to monitor, or helping households to monitor the reserves that they have, the quality of water that they have within those reserves, and to monitor the usage that they're giving to those reserves of water, right? So we're building the low-cost, low-power sensors with the hope that they will help the communities to, first of all, better manage, understand where they're using the water, then understand the quality of water that they're using so that they can use the higher quality for cooking or for the needs that require clean water, and use lower quality of water, maybe for watering the plants, washing the motorcycle, or using the toilet. So this is a sneak peek of one of the sensor prototypes that we have. This is just a sensor that monitors the usage of the bucket. And we can imagine that these buckets would be spread out around the house, sending information so that we can start to understand how much water is used for the plants, how much water is used for showering, how much water is used for cooking. And we do know that this is just one part of the solution, so we see that these lightweight and distributed technologies will be sort of like a constellation of technologies that will act together to solve some of the issues that we can find within the cycle. And it's very important to note that the reason why they're lightweight and distributed and low cost is because it's not easy to replicate in other parts. These are technologies that are very context dependent, so it's not going to be the same solution for Mexico than for Europe, than for Africa, than for here in the US. So it's necessary that these are very modular and flexible so that we can adapt the technologies to the local context. And so as we're seeing climate change is giving us very dynamic challenges, I believe that technologies that are as dynamic as the challenges that we're seeing will be very essential to help us tackle this climate crisis. So with that, I hand it off to Kent for final remarks. Thank you.